Hey guys, I have some neutral Valentines DIYs for your farmhouse heart. In fact, they are farmhouse hearts. I'm Whitney with Crafty Thoughts and Whatnots, and thank you for joining me today. So, let's get started. First off, we're going to need to get a bunch of cardboard. I ordered something online. I believe it was, actually, no, I don't know what it was. I ordered something online and they shipped it to me like this. It was some sort of cardstock or something like that. So I had extra cardboard. Find some cardboard and we are going to trace it out and cut it all up. So I had this box and I'm going to use many different heart shapes. So let's go through them. I have everything here is basically Dollar Tree. These are little galvanized hearts that came off of their long signs. Everyone knows those signs. They say home or love. I had a few of them I used for other projects, so I saved one. So I'm going to use that. These are wooden plaques from Dollar Tree, heart-shaped. Beautiful. We're going to use one of them in the next DIY after this. And then these two bags, actually, I think these aren't Dollar Tree. That one I think is Hobby Lobby, and one of them is Michael's. That left one is Michael's. So, but you can get these at Dollar Tree as well if it's that important. Just make sure you get different shaped hearts. I chose different ones thinking they were going to make a difference, and guess what? They really didn't. But I ended up getting a little creative and kind of cutting some up, but you'll see that going forward. Lost my mind for a few moments, but you'll also see that going forward. So trace them all out and cut them up. I made, I think maybe 5 or 6 of them, but I'm going to show you about a couple ideas that we're going to go through here. So with different mediums, this is actually a roll of twine from Dollar Tree. It comes in the automotive section. You get 3 rolls. This one little heart here took almost the whole roll, and I'm sure it's because I have never wrapped a heart before, but we're just going to wrap all these hearts in different types of, I say different mediums, but in different types of twine or yarn or string. Now remember, the thinner the item, the thinner the twine or string that you use, the more you're going to need to cover the full item. The hearts are smooth, they have curved surfaces, so it can be a little challenging at some points, but towards, the 3rd or 4th one, I kind of got a knack for it and a hang for it to see the tension that you need to put on it and then how you can move things around. So I've sped this up 6 times because it's actually maddening sitting there watching it at full time. There's a couple I'm going to show you in real time further down, but you're just going to keep wrapping. In some cases, because if you're using like a thinner twine or a baker's twine, it will take more product. You're going to see it gets thicker in the middle. I think it's cute that way. These are very popular. Everybody makes them. There are a million videos on them. So if my instruction here is not clear, I completely understand. Type in wrapped hearts or yarn hearts and you will find a lot of videos on these. I think that at the end of the day they look great. I chose these neutral colors because I wanted to do a neutral video. I will do the happy little pink and red and beautiful stuff in the next one, but look how cute it turned out. It's just a piece of cardboard. Now you could actually keep, you could use the wooden heart itself. You get what, 6 or 5 of them in a pack from Dollar Tree. Have at it. Use the actual wooden one. These don't need to be, as far as structural integrity is concerned, they're not holding up a table. They're just basically like table scatter. They're there for like cute little, smiles and happiness. They're just there to kind of fill some spaces and be festive. So it doesn't really need to be that sturdy per se, but you could also put a stick in the bottom of these and like turn them into a topiary or a pick for arrangement. I personally am just using these as table scatter or as just a little bit of a cute little decorative piece to add somewhere. So this is just that. Obviously I've made my second one. It's just, that is Super Saver pink yarn. I got it at Walmart years ago. I had this really big one. I was making baby blankets for many years and had extra yarn. Now for one of my other ones, I decided to get a little creative here and punished myself because wow, did this really go haywire. And it went backwards. It turned out great, but I don't know if it was worth it. So I'll let you know. I decided to freehand this and make this a hollow heart, and we're going to wrap the outside of it. Now the inside of it, I'm still going to keep that, and I'm going to turn that into a smaller heart, which I have 2 of them there because it worked out. So just hand by hand, I just took a pencil and kind of thought I would gauge it. And so this is what I did. I took my X-Acto knife and I cut out the center that I traced. And I'm going to wrap them in different things. So let's do the small one first. Now this is a twine from Dollar Tree. It's a gray and white baker's twine. And again, remember I was mentioning, the thinner the item you're using to wrap these with, the more product you're going to need to cover it so that you're not seeing it. Now, if I had been thinking ahead, you could actually paint the cardboard white or whichever complementing color of product you're using to cover your heart with, so that maybe these things don't poke out, because sometimes you will see a little bit of the brown cardboard sticking through in some places. But there's a remedy for that as well. So for this one, I just kept wrapping them. I liked that they looked bulky. I liked that they looked, chunky. And it kind of just went for me. I went for it because that whole roll I got for $1.25. It's not an expensive type of high-end string or anything that I got at maybe a fabric store or anything. It was baker's twine from Dollar Tree. And I love the way it looks. It's very cute and very little compact. Now this is a smaller one. I would not do a bigger heart in that because you'd probably run out. Now for the hollow one that I cut out, I decided to choose one of the most rage-inducing mediums ever. Let's use twisted sisal cord, Whitney. It'll be great. Now you'll see at some point, I give in and I cut this thing open. But I gave it the good college try here. So I'm going to glue the piece down, and because before with everything else I was using masking tape or just some sort of way to hold it down. So for this one I used some hot glue, and I literally, this is real time, I fed this through, twisted it around, fed it through, twisted it around. Then I realized this is going to take forever, Whitney. What have you done? You actually, you're going to want to eat some sort of food today. You're going to want to actually sleep. At some point you forget to keep blinking, your eyes dry out, and you go, why have I done this to myself? Because it's going to be super cute, that's why. And then you go, well, is it worth it? And you're thinking, I don't know if this is worth it. I mean, this is precious, but I'm probably going to, literally lose my mind in about 2 minutes. So I kept trying to just get this twisted around because I thought that, the sisal cord has this really fuzzy, hairy type stuff going on. Here's where I gave up. I'm like, forget this, I'm cutting it. So it made it a lot easier because now we don't actually have to go through the heart. We can go around it. And my idea was, well, when I get to these ends and I get them all covered to the two pieces where it's actually open, like maybe when you're filling a pillow or something that you have to leave an opening for, I will glue them together and I will find a way to maybe even sew the two ends together with a needle and thread, something to that effect. And everything worked out great. I just wish I had thought about that sooner. And this is sped up 6 times, but it's a little wobbly when you're done because it's not, it's cardboard. It's not very thick. Maybe if I used a couple pieces of cardboard and glued them together to make it thicker, again, at that point I'd be using more sisal cord. So here I am just continually wrapping around. I'm holding it with my left hand, wrapping it with my right, making sure I can keep them as tight as possible. Now, this also was not as easy as I thought it was going to be in my head. The hot glue was taking a little bit too long to cure, and between the cardboard, the sisal cord, and my fingers, it just didn't want to stick together. So I just kept gluing it and holding it, gluing it and holding it. And then I built up enough, of the white gloopy glue parts that apparently it decided to stick together. So what I did at that point is once I got a little bit of a bond with the hot glue, I would glue from the left side, and I would twist the sisal cord left side and then go right side, left side, right side. I'm not sure if that's going to make complete sense to you, but you'll see if I'm pulling the cord through on the left and then pull it through on the right, pull it through on the left, pull it through on the right. So I'm kind of trying to pull the two together while I'm wrapping it. But then I also decided to do one up and just put a little decorative spin on it. And I grabbed this charcoal yarn I had extra. Again, I keep everything. So here I said I'm going to start on the opposite side, and I'm going to use this kind of like a lace or as like a binding agent, like we're making cake or something. So I just added this as a decorative touch, and also to help keep that piece of the heart on the curve right here on this side. I started on the opposite side from where it was cut open, and then I used it to kind of just hold things together. So it's kind of like its own little extra stitching. And I really like the color I chose, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I'm smiling right now, but let me tell you, when I was making it, I was not smiling. But look how cute it is. So you guys, tell me your ideas and your thoughts. Is there a way you would improve upon this? Because I was losing my mind. Now, for this guy, this is where I'm telling you that this is the baker's twine from Dollar Tree. I used 3 spools of it because I had 3 packages of it. This is the pink and white, and it wasn't enough. So you can still see some of the parts through. So what I did was I grabbed that same pink yarn from before. That's the extra I have. It's a Super Saver yarn. Red Heart. It's a Red Heart Super Saver yarn. You can get it fairly inexpensively. And so I decided to add the pink to this one as an accent, but it's also basically going to cover up any of those little spots that I didn't get. Any little extra piece here and there that we know that You know what? The cardboard's going to show. I don't want the behind the scenes to know. I don't want anybody to know, even though I'm showing YouTube everything. This is where I just added some pink yarn to try to help out in that instance, because number one, I ran out of twine. And number two, I wasn't going to go buy another set of twine because there has already 3 rolls of twine on that little baby heart. But I still think it's cute, and I still like how it turned out. And I know it's chunky. Could look at it as a little wasteful, but you know, I have so many supplies and so much stuff in my stash. I'm not worried about it, but I'm also not going to go buy more, if that makes any sense. You guys let me know if you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm talking about here. So I put a little dab of glue in it after I felt I covered up all of her little missing pieces. And we're going to tuck that in. You can use a tool or a fingernail or whatever you got. And I just kind of tuck it in on the back. And now you can't see any of the little holes. So it's got a, pink and all the beautiful colors. Now this would also look good with any kind of burlap. You could use these for weddings, or if someone just likes hearts, it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. I think they look great. So here's everything I made, and then here they all are grouped together. I made a black one, and then another like a heather gray charcoal one. Here's my 2 little baby ones that turned out really, really cute. And then the pink one, and that that jute twine turned out great. So on the black one though, the hot glue that I used turned white. So here's my remedy, because I wasn't going to pull it apart. And at that point, if you're trying to pull hot glue apart, it's just going to pull everything and the yarn will start fraying. So I just used a Sharpie and I'm dabbing at it. Just keep dabbing and twisting that Sharpie down in there and get real deep inside there so you make sure you're getting all of it. And it disappears on you when you'll see in a second. Now you can't see that the glue's there. So technically, yes, you could put that towards the back, but this is something that could get moved around on a table. So now I'm going to stage it for you real quick and show you my idea. Now, this right here is from Hobby Lobby. You'll see it says Valentines 2021. I can absolutely guarantee you that I did not pay $7.99 for that. I more than likely got it on some sort of 90% off clearance for some ridiculously low price that made me happy on that day. Because normally I'm not a heart person. I don't buy hearts and stars and things. But for some reason that was super cute, so I have it. Which I'm glad that I have it for today's staging process. Here they weren't really sitting up the way I wanted to in that little jar, so I have some decorative shred. These like little zigzag pieces of shredded up paper that you can get in the gift bag and wrapping paper section at the Dollar Tree. So I have a white color and then a natural brown paper sack color, and I'm going to mix a little bit of the two. I think they look great together. Never be afraid to just mix things together, guys. Worst case scenario, if it bothers you, you can pick them apart. P.S. side note, when I was done taking pictures, I seriously took all that shred and I separated it by color and I put it back in the bags. I know I can't be alone on that, like, because I'm going to use it again for another video or a present in the future, and I don't want to keep it mixed. But for this video, look how cute it is when you mix the colors, because we have those colors in our hearts. I love, and I'm telling you, that Dollar Tree jute right here, I love that heart. It's just very like sloppy and chunky and just very, I love it. I don't know what it is about it. And again, I'm not a heart person, but this stuff is just too cute. I can't pass it up. Makes me want to squeeze it. That's that cuteness aggression. Oh, sorry. See, I got excited and I bumped my microphone. Cuteness aggression is real. If you find yourself wanting to squeeze things because they're cute, welcome to my world. Here they are, guys. What do you think? I love them. They're just so, they're so cute and easy. Now, again, you're not seeing the what do you call it? The see-through one, the one that the hole in it, because we're going to use it in a DIY. That was just part of this process. When I was making it, I didn't realize what I was doing. These guys here are just extra solid. All of our solid hearts are just going to be set on the table or set to the side or on a tiered tray. They're just table scatter or extra pieces of decor for you to just enjoy and to add to your Valentine's goodies. So you can set one up against a candle. Of course, not a real candle, LED candles only. These will catch fire. But tell me, you guys, what you think. And if you plan to make some, I would love to see them. I really would. They're just, it's so cute. Now, our second one. This right here is a big old box of wood scraps. I got it from Amazon. Now, it is linked in my Amazon shop, which is in my description and the first pin to the first comment below. You can take a look. It's in Project Supplies. It is a box of scrapped wood I got from Amazon. And there's all kinds of stuff in there. I believe there's like, I think that's cedar. I'm not sure. I don't know the names of woods, but you get all kinds of stuff. There's some floor samples in there. It was about $40. I am not in an area where I have access to wood, guys. My lumber stores aren't that, well, I'm in a big city. I don't know any carpenters. So we're going to pick this piece of wood out. I like the color. Now, we're going to take one of these guys here. This is the one that I used in our first DIY to trace things out. And we're going to paint it white. Now, also, I'm going to put a little thing here. You see that heart up to the top right? I made myself an editing nightmare by doing both of these together at the same time. So we're going to Mod Podge. Now, I went to my computer and I typed out some lyrics to a song that I absolutely love that I want to sing so badly, but copyright is a, you know what I'm saying? So please sing to yourselves, guys, while you're watching this, because I've been singing this song for a week, the whole time I was making it. We're going to Mod Podge this. This is just plain old computer paper. I have Microsoft Windows, some ancient, I don't even know which version I have. I went into Microsoft, I opened up Word, I typed in Cupid, draw back your bow, and I made it into a different font, printed it out, one bigger, one smaller, and I totally guessed on it. I did not make sure that it would fit on either one of these things. We're going to Mod Podge it down. I had to hold the paper up to the light. You'll see me do that, or you already saw me do that. I held it up to the light to try to kind of guesstimate where I wanted it. I put the Mod Podge down, and I'm using my finger sander to get that really good edge off of the sides to get the rest of the paper off. So once that dries, I did one coat and I let it dry. I did not touch it. I let it dry. Okay. We're going to go in with our second coat. And I'm trying to avoid all bubbles and wrinkles 100%. Now I still got some, but again, my favorite little idea here was a baggie from Crafty Kathy. She uses saran wrap, so saran wrap baggie. I think there has something to do with the paper, or I mean something to do with the plastic. You just use your finger on some sort of plastic. This is a bag I got from something that I ordered from Amazon, and you just kind of push those wrinkles out, and it works on tissue paper, and it works on this computer paper. It works great. Now again, you can see my next DIY there with it because I did them at the same time, not realizing that I'm going to have to cut on piece all this together while I'm editing. So you will see that again. Now that that's dry, I did 2 extra coats for a top coat. We're going to take Mineral by Waverly chalk paint, and we're going to dry brush around the edge. I wanted to put more of these neutral colors that I have going on. So I have grays and browns and jutes. I only have very minimal little pink I added in here because I wanted some color, but I stuck with things that you can literally put any color with. If you choose to put purple in there or green, do something that's not normal, you know, do something that makes your heart happy, literally. So after we get all of our pieces together, I have now our board that we got from our little scrap box from Amazon, and I'm going to dry brush some white around the edges of it. Don't ask me why. I think I grabbed that because I was using that as my Mod Podge brush, and I washed it and it was still drying. But grab a chip brush and do your dry brushing with that. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking at first. So again, I got a chip brush and I'm dry brushing just to distress the edges, putting a nice little layer of white around the edge of our sign here. And that makes me so happy. She's so cute. And then here's all of our little, you know, collection. So this is off of a Dollar Tree sign. You guys have seen many of those if you've been around and you follow the Dollar Tree life. These come off of signs and they're very, very easy to get off. They have these little plastic pieces, almost like a shoelace end, and they're easy to put through holes. So that's an extra piece from a junk bucket. This right here is also from a Dollar Tree. There's our Cupid heart. We're going to use that little square piece to put on the back. And there's the girl that we made from our first DIY. We're using that. I have a finger bow here. This is burlapfabric.com ribbon that I had. And then we have here one of those galvanized hearts that we used originally to make outlines in our first DIY. I have 4 of them because there were 4 signs that I used to make something that I have had sitting in my stash for 4 years. We won't talk about it. But I have an extra one, so I'm going to use that today. And we are going to just put this little mishmash of stuff together. First off, we're going to staple this to the back of our frame. I don't want to drill holes. I don't have power tools. So I'm trying to do stuff as easy as I possibly can. And also I tried to get my crocodile out to see if it would fit. The board's too thick. So trust me, I tried. So I'm just using a little baby hammer, which is the cutest little baby hammer I've ever seen. Look how cute it is. I love mini things, which is why, you know, my wiener dogs have short little legs. I love mini things. That little hammer is cute. Staple that to the back. Anyways, moving forward. Stapled it to the back and made sure that the staples were good to go. Now I'm just placing everything on here and showing you how. We're going to take that little block and we're going to put it on the back of our Cupid heart we made because I want it to be raised. So it's like got a little 3D effect. Now we're going to take some E6000 because hot glue on these metal parts, and you use the metal signs from time to time, hot glue dries quickly and it is not nice. So I used a little bit in the middle here, and you'll see me in a second right there burn my finger because, believe it or not, when you put molten hot, I almost said gravy, molten hot lava glue on something metal and then you touch it with your fingers, guess what? Never gonna guess. It burns. So I used E6000 hot glue. Now we're going to put our lovely little creation here on top of it, also with E6000, because we're putting something back on metal. I didn't think that hot glue alone would hold it, so I used another medium. If you have another one of your favorite glues, whether it's super glue gel or Gorilla Glue, use that. I just had E6000 at the ready, and that's what I grabbed, because it will, over time, you just have to have patience. E6000 is pretty solid. I've never had it fail on me ever, but you just have to have patience. And that's one of those things I'm very short in. So I glued this Cupid heart on next, and now we're going to put our little finger bow at the top. Now I have a finger bow tutorial. I say this a lot. I'm sorry if I'm repetitive. It's linked in my description below if you want to watch me make a finger bow. It's slowed down, very informative, and it will get easier over time, and I love making them. So I wanted to add just one more little thing to this. So I made a little wrapped bow. I wrapped it around 3 fingers and then I cinched it in the middle. I added an extra piece of yarn in the middle so it looks like it has 4 tails. And then all you do is just wrap that piece, another piece around the middle and tie a knot in it. And you basically have a tiny little gathered bow. And I do this with a lot of ribbons. I've seen a lot of people do it. It's just so cute and fast, and it adds just that extra little bit to something. And I love layering bows. It's like, seems to be my thing. I like putting more than one ribbon together, and I can't ever just leave it alone. I can't just have one piece of ribbon. Always has to have more. But I love how this turned out. And again, we're keeping with the neutrals. We're keeping with these colors. You could still put a splash of red in there if that's how your Valentine's heart goes. But I love this song, and I love these lyrics, and I've been singing it. And tell me if you guys know what movie that's from. Well, technically, sorry. It's probably from a lot of movies. It's a very old song. But it's basically my Inner Space movie. Anybody watch Inner Space? Put in the comments if you're an Inner Space fan. If you know back, now I'm an 80s baby, but I think Inner Space came out 80s or 90s. I'm not sure. But that song was just awesome for that whole movie. And I've been singing it for weeks. I had it on in my car. I put it on my YouTube music, my Google Music. I love this song. And I just wish that these copyright issues wouldn't pop up because I would be playing that song in this video, guys. I love it. So just, again, pick something you like and tape it out and print it on your computer or whatever you need to do and put it in your DIYs. Never be afraid to just grab something that means something to you. Nobody else has to understand it. That's for you and you alone. You do you, and we will all be okay. You guys tell me what you think of this. This one was just a whole Mod Podge of just happiness. So now our last one. Now you've seen me paint this white. Now again, this is one of the little heart plaques from Dollar Tree. I got it last year, but I did just go to Dollar Tree and they have them again this year. $1.25 this year. When I got it last year, it was $1. So it means it's more valuable. Take the sticker off and get it ready. I put 2 coats of paint on this. It had a couple pieces on the back. Again, this is the back of it, but this one's going to be a stand-up piece. I wanted this to be a little tabletop decor item. So we're going to have it stand up. So after the paint's dry, we're ready to go. We're going to do our same technique here. Now I was trying to find how I wanted it to stand because you'll see in a second, I have this little ornament that I bought at Michael's a few years ago. And I believe I got them at Valentines because it doesn't have a red tag. Normally red tag means Christmas ornament. So I got these little arrows and I bought like 5 or 6 of them. They were discounted deeply. And it's going to work out great if you have a little arrow. So I'm going to use the arrow on the front of it, but I didn't want to cover up the bottom part of the text. So I ended up just putting the text on straightforward as though you're reading it straight on. I didn't put it at diagonal or anything where you're going to see what we do with the arrow. And the same technique as our previous heart. Once you get it on and you get all pretty smoothed out, we are going to use our finger sander to get the rest of the paper off. I love that technique. It is so easy and fun. It had a little bit of a rough spot right there on the side, so I got that cleaned off. Now, after about a day, I left these for a day, we're going to come back in, same as the other one, as you can see right there above. We're going to put our top coat of Mod Podge on the top. And again, I got very minimal bubbles just because I think the edges weren't the way they needed to be. So literally just on the one top right edge, we got a little bit there that we just kind of pushed out. And then I put another 2 coats of Mod Podge on the top and let them dry. 100% let them dry. One of the few times I was able to have patience, and I think that's because it was dinner time. So cut to everything's dry. I'm going to do the same thing as with the previous heart again because we're going with a theme here. We want to stick with neutrals. I got my chip brush, and that is the Waverly chalk paint in the color mineral. And we are going to dry brush and distress the dickens out of the whole sides. At first I was just doing the edges, and then make sure here I had wiped that off right there. I covered up a little bit of the text, Just go back and dab at it, Whitney. Don't slop it on. Just be a little careful. And then on the sides, I just kind of went ham. I just went nuts on it and just kind of just dabbed it all up. And then here I let the brush get very, very dry and just dab the top of it, kind of like you're doing a stencil, just to kind of see the little, you can see the little speckly parts. Very similar, exact same technique that I used on my snowflake when I did a shake your flakes snowflake little thing for Christmas. Very similar. And you can see here how we're applying it in the exact same technique, just in a different season with a different set of colors, different palettes. Everything is universal. Even if Farmhouse is not your style, you can take the techniques and apply them to the things that you love most. And just remember, all of this is universal. It does not have to be a heart. It does not have to be these colors. So here we've got everything set to go, and I want to make sure that this girl stands up on her own. So I'm just trying to line things up to make sure that the arrowhead and the feathery part on our arrow doesn't cover up any of our text. And the heart's going to go just slightly at a diagonal, which again is not a problem because we're going to add a little support to the back of it. Now, truth be told, after I got this glued down here, I put a little line there so I knew exactly where to put the arrow back on. Now I knew how high up I needed to go, but I still had to adjust the arrow, a little bit left and right. And you'll see me move it here because it's kind of covering up the D on the draw at the bottom. So kind of move it a little bit to the left. And there, she's ready to go. So the arrows, the heart's tilted just a little bit. And here's a little bit of glue stick out. So I just kind of scratched that out. We're good to go. It stood up on its own. It wasn't really wobbly, but I still felt I just needed one more piece just for security, just for, S and giggles. Side note, if you know what that means, just go ahead and be like, give me a little heart in the comments. S and giggles. So I added that on. It's just a Jenga block or a tumbling tower block from Dollar Tree. It's just another little wood piece. I painted it white. Now make sure you get the little front parts here. You got to do a little bit of a little delicate paint there on the front. It doesn't show, but you never know. It's a behind the scenes, and I need to make sure everything looks nice. So I also needed to sand the hole where on the arrow where our little ornament hanger was. And then at that point I was like, oh, let me just get some of these rough edges out. Oh wait, I have extra paint on my brush. And of course I dry brushed it. My little farmhouse heart is soaring at this moment because I love how it turned out. Makes me happy. Look how cute that is. Also, I'm not done. Of course I'm not done. You guys see this empty space right here? We have to put something there. We have to. So I grabbed a piece of the charcoal colored yarn, thinking here, look at me making a magic knot like I'm going to crochet. Isn't that cute? I forgot how to tie a normal bow because when I'm holding yarn, it's just second nature to make a magic knot like I'm about to start chaining and make a blanket or something. I love crocheting. If you're new to my channel, I am a crocheter. I love to make stuff. I've crocheted a few times on the channel, but it's just a habit of mine. So I just tied a little shoelace, like you're tying your laces. I just tied a little bow out of the extra yarn here. And this is just a tiny little accent. This is just something that we're going to add. Again, the piece is very small in itself, so I can't add anything. I didn't even have ribbon thin enough that I thought would look good. It might take up too much space. And I'm going to show you my little mess up, but here we got these wooden sticks. Now I believe these go inside like cupcakes or things like that. The Dollar Tree sells these little things. I got a bunch at Halloween and fall. Super cute ones. So I grabbed these hearts and I felt like the little gold ones were still within our same neutral palette. So I decided to think that I'm going to put this guy here. Now, if you've seen the pictures already from Instagram or on my thumbnail, you'll know that that's not its original home. That's not where it stays. I had the idea, I glued it down, and then I wasn't able to get anything in that spot. So I kind of pulled up a little bit on it and I made a little mark. So what I did, excuse me, that is so rude, Whitney. Turn your phone off. Jeez, girl. Anywho, moving on. I basically glued my heart to the bow itself, and then I pulled it off of the stick. Way easier. Then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to use it over here. I'm just going to cover up the hole that was in the hanger. And now I'm going to grab another heart from our little pack of 20 that we got at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use it to cover up that little spot there. Now, I made a little like melty spot, as you can see right here. That's what the hot glue did to it when I pulled it off. So my critical eye knows it's there, and it will bother me in my sleep until I fix it or cover it. So I figured I'll just put an extra heart on it, and it'll cover the little oopsie, and nobody will know except for however many people are watching, and that I've told everybody in the world who watches my video that that's what I did. And it's done. Look how it stands up. So cute. Makes me so happy. And it's just, I love that song, guys. If you don't know what song it is, you got to look it up. Just type in those lyrics and then just sit back and enjoy it. It's a great song, man. Inner Space was such a cute love story. I mean, it was funny. As funny as anything, but it was a cute love story. It's a great song. Reminds me so much of being young. It's a great movie. You guys tell me in the comments what you think, how you like it. That's how they all turned out. Now this is just a short, I say short video, but oh geez, it's over 30 minutes of 3 little things. But I get to these stages, guys, where I end up either giving you too much information or not enough. So, I mean, I'm always hypercritical of myself. So you guys let me know, was this too much information in this video or was it not enough? Let me know. Sometimes I feel like I need to go a little bit faster. And sometimes I get comments that say that you need me to slow down. You guys let me know how things are going and what you like. The new year is upon us, and I just want to get things off to the right start for these videos going out this year. I'm excited, and I love how all this turned out, especially since I only had the idea just to use those song lyrics on a couple hearts. I said, I'm going to Mod Podge my stuff. I don't need a Cricut. I'm going to make it on my computer. That's it, guys. Those are our 3 little projects, but turned into a little bit more. We've got a cute little collection here, and they're all the right colors. So tell me how you guys are doing. Tell me what you think. And oh yes, coffee page. Thank you so much to everybody who supports me, who has bought me a coffee. You're keeping me running. It helps to maintain my channel and buy supplies, and I love every single one of you for it. And if you're not able to monetarily support me, that is okay. I love you just as much. Just say hi in the comments. It lets YouTube know that you like me, and it'll suggest me to other people, which is always good. So with that, all that being said, I love you guys more than I can possibly express in words. Many hugs, happy crafting, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.